I have wet head. Okay.
You have wet head.
Okay, day
Ed,
26.
stuck. Ed's not moving.
What's not moving?
Ed's not moving.
Ed is not moving. There he is. He's in Zen mode.
He's in Zen mode.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
not
So welcome. Let's do a little evaluation of a couple of things, and then we'll talk about the plan. All right, what I call the plan. What's the plan? All right. First of all, so Mark is looking at that campground, and you made an observation that there's a franchise fee with KOA. So I'm only going to make some assumptions here because I'm not familiar specifically with that arrangement. But most hotels have a flag that they operate under. Okay, so it's basically a franchise, but they have to do what they call PIPs, PIP, which is, I drew a blank, but anyway, it stands for you have to keep your property in repair according to the specifications laid out by the franchise owners. So Holiday Inn has to keep theirs a certain way, etc. So, and that's called operating under the flag of Holiday Inn, for example. So I would imagine, this is an assumption, that KOA has a flag and that there's a flag agreement. So flags can be bought out. You can get out from underneath a flag. The reason you have a flag is because it drives business and marketing. You know, like if you're a camper and you're traveling, you're going to be looking for either a KOA or a, what's that one? Smokey the Bear or whatever. What's the other campground? The famous campground. Yeah. See, I don't stay at campgrounds.
KOA wins.
KOA wins. Yeah. So that's why you have a flag, because you get the marketing, but you have to maintain the property according to the flag specifications. And I don't know what that looks like. So a flag typically has, or a franchise agreement typically has a time frame that you operate under. And so if you, let's just say it has a 10-year time frame and you're in year 8 and you want to buy it out. So there's a prorated amount that you can buy it out for. So in your analysis, Mark, you'll just want to find out the conditions of the flag. It may not be called a flag, it may just be a franchise agreement, and they have, they have to give a certain amount of proceeds, percentage of the proceeds to KOA in exchange for calling themselves KOA. So a part of the due diligence will be, can you buy out of that agreement, and would it be worth it? Mm-hmm. Right? So.
Right. Well, right now it's $40,000 a year. There's just so many things going on in that campground, and it's only open for 6 months. And how would I pay back $2.8 million, which is the asking price? If I didn't take any pay, it would be 10 years. If I took half, it would take 20 years.
Yeah, that's where that's where you got to see if it's a viable business, right? You want to buy something that cash flows immediately, obviously. If it doesn't, well, then you go to the next thing.
Right.
But in these campgrounds and these marinas, Peter, and these hospitality type properties, what you're looking for is, yes, they are seasonal, okay? But what you're looking for is additional streams of revenue that are
right.
that are not being utilized on the property now. Okay.
Right. Value add, whatever.
Yeah. Let me finish up the thought on the franchise. Depending on how old that agreement is with the franchise with KOA, and if you can buy yourself out of it, social media, Airbnb, HomeAway, VRBO, all of those sites that nightly rental sites that are now so prevalent on the internet, they might be the way to go in a property like that, rather than just depending on the KOA brand. I see if that KOA brand that agreement is real old, and now you can do away with it, but you can put it on. There's a site called it's for RVers. Is it RV Traveler or something like that? Anyway, so there are those sites that RVers go on to book in advance, right? So it's just an evaluation of, is it worth it? Is it not? Okay. And this, as far as a seasonal business goes, listen, with the marina that I own, very seasonal. I mean, we had to, it was a squirrel saving nuts from April to October, and so that we could last in the winter, right? Now we were able to figure out some other streams that helped in the winter, but it's make it and store it away so you can keep going in those off periods. And that's just a business model evaluation, Mark. Okay. All right. What? Somebody say something?
Yeah. Based on what you are talking about, I was reading last night about the data, about demographics. So, I pay attention a lot to demographics, a little bit more than markets because of what's going on in the whole world, right? And based on what you said right now, how will you evaluate in this decade, the next 10 years? Because I was reading that over 2 million people are going to be over 65 years old in this decade. So what can affect, or what strategy can be changing, for us investors, that we can take advantage of this or not, based on what is coming for demographics? Does that make sense?
It does. So it's more than age. It's what do the demographics say about, what do the statistics say about affluence, right? So you can have poor old people or you can have affluent old people, and each of those are going to have different demands. To your point, I saw maybe 2 weeks ago a really cool concept, and that is homes, luxury homes that have a parking lot attached to them for people to pull their luxury buses into. And these homes were not large. They were, 1,000 square feet. They were basically a big kitchen, a big living room, and a carport, and they were on properties that had golf courses and built-in lakes, those kinds of things, right? And these things were $750,000, $1 million bucks. So you got $1 million bus and you're going to park it underneath $1 million home. This was the concept. So the real answer to your question is, what is the income level of those boomers? They're baby boomers, right? Of those boomers that are aging, and
that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean,
what lifestyle will they be able to afford, and what lifestyle will appeal to them, right?
So what will be the transition in this decade for baby boomers going down and the new, how do you say, demographics of the new, how do you say that, millennials, let's call millennials, right? So how that affect in our business, especially right now in apartments, or that would be a benefit for apartments? Because I was looking at what are they looking for, right? It's important to me what the millennials are looking for. So I'm looking for those kind of apartments where I can build a swimming pool, right? I can put a gym, I can put accommodations that's what they want, and they will be willing to pay $1,200 per door and doing nothing, right?
I think in our business, that's where it is. I don't think our business, for the most part, is going to cater to aging people. It's going to cater to those people in the millennial group that have families and are still working. Both, mom and dad are still working. Two people are working. They're bringing in money, and they still have that mindset of entertainment, or an amenity in addition to the place that they live. I think that's going to be the biggest population. Although boomers are and people over 55, huge population and huge ability to have a huge amount of spending power, right?
Right.
But I think for what we're doing, it's going to be that middle group that's still working, and needs to play. Because they're, I mean, face it, most people stay in an apartment, 2 years on average, and then they go out and find a house to build, a house to buy, I should say. So, we've got, on average, we've got a block of time of 2 years or so with a block of an age group, 35 to 45. And that's our block right there. And as they move on, the next set of 35 to 45s move in. So, I mean, unless you want to specialize in something for aging, the aging community. But I think for the purposes of this course and purposes of what we're doing and purpose, what I invest in, it's that middle group right there for now, unless something changes drastically, but it's that middle group, right?
Yeah, okay, because I was trying to put together a plan of action where I can accommodate that generation that is coming, right, looking for apartments, and at the same time, put strategies in place about those large houses that the baby boomers don't want anymore, and they are reducing because they are empty nests, right? And that's what I'm targeting right now too. So I can have both segments or blocks that you're talking about, the transition from the apartments to the house, and keep a cycle on that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. You want it for both sides.
Yes. Just to make money in the in and the out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, do your research and let us know. Let us know. Okay. So, Mark, it's just going to take some evaluation. This may not be the deal for you. I don't know. It's just going to take a little bit of evaluation. But those are some of the things that I know about the hospitality market. Okay. Same thing, Peter, with the marina. There was some tiny homes on it. There were some mobile homes on it. There was a marina on it. Did I see a ship store? Say that fast. Ship store.
Ship store.
Yeah, ship store. Okay, so that they sell trinkets, right?
Yeah, they had a P&L for the business and a P&L for renting out of the mobile homes.
Okay, perfect. So you got to combine those,
Yeah.
and see if it's a base. Okay, the fundamentals are the same: cap rate, gross income, expenses. 45% on your expense ratio. What do you have left over? Can you pay the mortgage?
Yeah,
and then how do you add value to the property? Improvements.
Do they have chips in a bottle?
Say again?
Do they sell ships in a bottle?
Maybe. Hey, you can add that along with firewood.
Do you know what was one of the most, like volume wise was not the biggest profit, but like most consistent streams of income, bags of ice.
Oh yeah.
Bags of ice. One of the first things I did was I bought an ice machine. It was a 600, what do they call it? 600 pounds. It made 600 pounds, and then I bought a deep freeze, and we were filling those. So 10-pound bags, 60 bags. We were filling those every other day. And see, $3, $3. It's crazy.
I'd add a cafe too. Did
Yeah,
you have coffee there?
We didn't have a cafe. No, zoning wouldn't allow. So
That's too bad.
yeah.
Hey, Paul, it's funny. It's funny that you said that because I did that before too.
Yeah. Okay, this is a side note, right? So I bought this ice machine. I started making ice. Well, one of the guys that had a boat on the marina, he had his own ice machine. And so he put it down on the docks. He was making ice and he was giving away bags of ice for free.
Oh.
And I called him. I'm like, no. Get that off. You have till the end of the business today to remove that. from the dock or else I'm going to cancel your membership. Oh man, he yelled and screamed at me. In fact, later he told somebody, I found out, that if I would have been there personally, he would have punched me in the face. Okay. So this is all,
Wow.
yeah, we don't. So anyway, he did remove it. Okay. And then the next time I saw him, which was maybe, I don't know, maybe a month later, you know, I said, I have a new name for you. I'm calling you Iceman. So every time I saw him beyond, past that, I called him Iceman. What's up, Iceman? Oh, I got him so mad. Anyway, okay, that's the ice story. $3, right? Okay, all right. So let's see. Brad and I are working on an LOI, just so that y'all know, for the Winston-Salem. Okay,
Yeah.
and Jesus, you're going to arrange a call with a realtor either today or tomorrow?
Yes, it's between today and tomorrow. I already reached to him yesterday. I'm waiting for his response. As soon as I know, I'll let you know.
Okay, tremendous. And Nina, you're kind of dark there, right? What no video this morning?
No video this morning. Y'all don't
Go.
want to see me on a video this morning.
So
She's still in bed.
No, I was on calls and analyzing deals and doing so many different things yesterday. I'm worn out. So
yeah. No, I understand. I understand completely.
but
Okay,
it's in
well,
progress.
yeah. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about in this session really is your next 30-day plan. Okay. There's research that says it takes between 21 and 30 days to develop a habit, to eliminate an old habit and replace it with a new habit. So one of the reasons that I put together this program like I did with this time frame, you notice every morning 9 a.m. We're meeting, and it becomes a habit, right? So I want you to continue the habit. I want you to extend the habit of work in this business. And so what I want you to do is, over the next 24 hours, I'd like for you to write your next 30-day plan. Like, what are you going to commit to for the next 30 days beginning April the 1st, okay? So beginning April the 1st, what is your next 30-day plans? And in other words, make a commitment to yourself in writing. So they should include, number one, your networking. So what kind of networking are you going to do? What kind of virtual networking? What kind of in-person networking are you going to do when it comes back around? Okay. So what networking or meetup groups will you join? Are you going to participate in? Are you going to be a part of that help you stay focused in this business? It's all a matter of focus. And the more that you're in the game, the more focused that you can stay. All right. So the other thing is, what daily habits, or another category is, what daily habits will you have every day? Will you journal? Will you read an article, in a real estate website? Will you contact two investors, say, for example? What day will you evaluate? Will you commit to evaluating one deal a day minimum, like really evaluating a deal? Okay. So what daily habits will you commit to that keep you enthusiastic and keep you in the game that you're in right now? All right. Over the next 30 days, over the month of April, commit to studying something. Study a book, study a course, study a group of podcasts, study videos. Select something that you will study. And by study, I mean, if it's a book, you're going to make notes in the margin. You're going to read it and reread it and reread it until you can retain it. Like actual study something that's helpful to you. Even if it's something that's mindset related, that works too. But preferably real estate and apartment acquisition related. Maybe it's a deeper dive into underwriting. Maybe it's a deeper dive into how to understand a financial statement. Okay. But commit to studying something. Also, commit to building out your team. So you may have parts and pieces of your team right now, but continue to build it out. An attorney, an SEC attorney, a legal attorney,
And
a
the company.
realtor. Figure out how you want to structure your company as an LLC, okay, your acquisition company. Show of hands, who has a company through which they can make a letter of intent?
I do.
Okay, so Nina, Peter, Ed, you've got to. I know you got to have some kind of entity that you make offers through, right?
Yes, I actually what I do that I was talking to Nina about, it's I create different names because I'm putting offers all the time, and I create trusts. So and then,
Land trust, yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
and then what I do
very.
on the contract, I sell just the interest. On that one, that's it.
And you don't have to have the trust formed yet. You can just pick a name.
Yeah, whatever name you want to. Yeah,
Once it goes through escrow, you get it formed with your attorney.
yeah.
Right. So, get an entity, get at least one entity that is registered. You have a federal employment identification number on it. You have a registered agent on it. An official registered agent. In other words, it is the entity that is you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get all
Is
these
it
other
best to have a
deals,
land?
well, in my opinion, it's best to have an LLC that is your
I've heard people.
umbrella, okay? And
I'm
then
sorry,
as
but-
you get deals, then you can slide them into an SPE, what's called an SPE, special purpose entity, or a land trust. You can do a couple of strategies
To
there.
put the property in land trust, which will go into master LLC.
You blinked out there. Say it again.
That you should acquire properties in a land which you would put in a overall LLC.
Yeah, your LLC is the holding entity. It's never you personally. Never
Right.
you personally, right? So, I mean, there are different strategies, and it depends on a couple of things. Your tolerance for risk. Some people have put 3 or 4 properties in a trust or in an LLC, but now that LLC or that trust has 4 properties exposure. One property has a problem, the other 3 are exposed. So
Right.
for my dollar, everything goes in its own.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So, and I know you're not an attorney, but how much more benefit is a land trust than an LLC?
Well, it's not that it's that. I mean, Ed could probably talk better than I can, but the trust per property, for example, so 123 Main Street Trust, 456 Main Street Trust, those are 2 different properties. Each one is in its own unique trust, and that's protecting the property and the LLC and you personally from any liability. So for LLC, mine is the Grayson Group LLC, is my parent company. Every property I own is going to go under that LLC. So the 123 Main Street Trust is owned by the LLC, or it's underneath the LLC, but that trust is separate from the LLC. My LLC can't be affected. I can't be affected if somebody wants to come along and sue the trust.
The trust is easier than going out and setting up a different LLC every single time.
Yeah.
Because an LLC, there's a state filing, it has to have its own FEIN, and it has to have its own income tax return.
Mm-hmm.
But your trust, you can group them together. You don't have to have that. I mean, you can do a trust immediately, like it's a 1-page document.
Yeah.
Right, Ed? Yeah.
Yeah, and the trust can hold multiple properties. So it could be like Black Girl Magic is a trust name I have that I created with some friends, which I could put 5 properties in Black Girl Magic Trust. So it can hold multiple things, and it's just a 1-pager.
Yeah. But you do, again, in my opinion, you do need an umbrella organization. Okay.
Yeah, and the benefit of the LLC too, with my financial accountant and money master, she helped me to legitimize my LLC so that I got a really high Paydex score, a really high DUNS score, in order to get credit lines, in order to get funding for the business. So my credit rating for my business is very high because I established it over the last 2 years.
Right.
And now I'm able to go out and get funding for the business.
Right. Okay, so some other things that I want you to commit to over the next 30 days. In addition to building out your team, select at least 3 markets that you have done the homework on, at least 3. Like that homework that you did the last few days, 3 of those. Your backyard, someplace that you're very familiar with, and someplace that you think is cool and that you want to be, right? Or someplace that somebody that you've got information on that is solid. So 3 markets, know everything that you can about those 3 markets. In other words, get into those 3 markets, okay?
Mhm.
And then the other thing that I want you to commit to is, and this is not confessional, but whatever your credit score is now, work to improve it. I don't care how high it is, work to improve it, okay? Because I'm always on the border about credit because I bought so many properties without having to worry about credit score, okay? And my credit score is good, but I bought so many without credit score. And there was a time in 2008 where like my credit was, I don't know, 520 or something stupid like that, right? Because I took it in shorts like everybody else. But work on your credit. Right? And if that means getting a credit advisor, if that means calling up your credit cards or your lenders or whoever's extended you credit and working out something with them, become very credit score savvy. What affects your your score, your debt to income ratio, your debt to credit ratio, owed to credit, I should say. So know everything about credit because that becomes very important the deeper you get into the business. Right?
And I have a reference for a company that helps to, organize your credit, and they do a lot, and then they can get you business credit too. So if you're interested, I'll send you a link.
Yeah. You can. Do you mind posting that in the group?
Not at all.
Okay, good. All right.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
Talking about credit, when I met you, my credit score is good. I'm right now yesterday at 785. So, but what happened to me, and I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this in the group. I would like for you to talk a little bit more about the credit and when those properties that you buy go under your name. Not you buy under your name specifically, but it goes on your credit. When I met you in 2011 in California, okay, then after we got done, I started buying. So the first 10 houses that I bought, I'm talking about after the flipping, okay? The first 10 houses of buying and hold that I bought, they are 30 years. It was like a 4.25, 30-year fixed. But those 10 properties went under my credit score. Under my credit score, is that correct, right? So, personal credit score. So I would like for you to talk about that when you buy the properties, and that goes in the entity credit score and not on your personal. Does that make sense?
That's where you should have business credit.
Correct.
Business line of credit.
I do have right now, but before I didn't have, and you want to make sure that you share that with us.
Anytime you buy something personally in your name, it's going to go against your score. Right. Or it's got one way or the other, against it or for it. Right. Anytime. And then it's a matter of how much leverage you have. Like if you're over leveraged, you might have great credit score, right? And you might have great income, but if you're over leveraged property wise, then it's going to be tough to get the next loan. But your business entity should have a line of credit, as well as you individually should have a line of credit.
Right.
If you go submit for a loan, let them evaluate your business credit, because so that it doesn't affect your personal credit. Now, if you're doing a recourse loan, they're gonna come look at your personal credit, right? To the extent possible, on a non-recourse loan, let them look at your business line of credit, your business credit. Okay, and establishing business credit is much like establishing personal credit. You can go out and get a business card. Like actually, Amex is a card that you can get through business. You can run it up, pay it off, 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 and now you got a credit score with your business. Okay.
Business, yeah.
Yeah, and by run it up, I mean like say they give you a $10,000 limit, $2,500 tops, right? Because the ratio is what's so important. It's not spending $10,000 and then paying it off. It's spending.
There's a ratio. The ratio, yeah.
Right, $2,500 paying it off, $2,500 paying it off. Okay, that's what builds your credit score, and of course timeliness, right?
I want to make sure that everybody knows in this team about that, because that was my experience years ago. And I have no idea. So what I had to do in order for me to remove those from my personal, I took those 10 properties and I put a strategy on those to pay it off quickly. I didn't care about the 10 years, the 30-year fixed. So I had to pay them off, and that's what I did. So now they are all removed out of my personal.
Okay. One more part of your team that you'll build is a relationship with an IRA fund, a custodian. Okay, it might be yours, or it may be somebody else that can facilitate a self-direct. Does that make sense? So let's just say that I've got a deal and Jesus wants to be a passive investor, and he wants to take the money from his IRA and put it into my passive investment as a passive investment into my my deal. Then I've got to have, and he can go to his custodian and say self-direct, but sometimes the custodian won't do that. So I want you to have a contact of someone that will do that, and you can Google him, okay? Or Jesus maybe he's got some money laying on the side, but he hasn't set up an IRA yet. Okay, so check out Midland IRA. They're pretty big, pretty famous, pretty popular. Okay, but just become familiar with an IRA contact. That's part of your team as well. Okay, and so what I want you to do over the next 24 hours is I'd like for you to write out that plan, and I want you to post it, and then tomorrow I want you to tell us, your commitments, like your commitments for the next 30 days. And it could be more than what I've stated. This is just a guideline. If you want to do something like a vision board, or if you want to do a mission statement, or if you want to do, if you want to commit to writing an ebook that supports, that gives you credibility or supports what you're doing, something that really gives you that legitimacy, and something that really, like once you're in it, you commit, you can't get out. Make sense? Like put that on yourself, okay? And so write that down, and then we'll let you present that tomorrow. Okay? Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. That's what we
Hey,
got
Paul?
today. Yes, ma'am.
I've got a lot of analysis and things to take care of with different partners today. Can I have mine on Sunday?
How about Saturday? Today's Thursday.
I know it is. And I've got other things happening this weekend too.
What is Sunday? Yes. The answer is yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. What is today? Today is
26.
26. Yep. Okay. Yes, Sunday will be fine. All right.
Great.
Yeah, and post that self-directed IRA, and then I'll post one too. I know one that's pretty good.
Okay.
That's dedicated towards real estate investing.
Okay. Good. Did you ever work with Kurt, Ed? Kurt Weinrich? No? Okay. All right. been a while since I've worked with him, but I worked with Midland just a few months ago on a deal.
I work with Belinda Savage. Do you know her?
The name sounds familiar.
Belinda Savage. She's huge. I mean, huge nationwide.
Okay. Well, you know, let's put a couple of
Yeah, what's that?
of references in the group. Okay,
Yeah.
for everybody. Okay, that's what we got for today. All right, guys,
Great, thank you.
stay in
Hey,
touch. Yes.
I want to thank you for the exercise of analyzing the data, because yesterday it was awesome for me to see other things that I never saw before. So that was really good exercise.
Good.
Thank you,
So,
man.
so you know how I've been doing. Okay, so I've been doing this, and then I take this information and I do a formal video, right? Because when I get ready to release this in the next section, the formal videos are going to be part of the training, right? So I have, you know, have the lights set up and everything, right? So I did session 3.5 because I had it scheduled for session 10, but the market analysis, as we discussed, needed to be moved up, right? So I put it in between 3 and 4, called it 3.5. So anyway, it was
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing
Yeah.
now the things that I saw.
Yeah.
It's in different markets in the States.
Yeah. And you can do that analysis anywhere. You can do it in a big city, little town. You can do it anywhere. Just to,
Yeah.
you know, and the more you do it, the more streamlined you get with it, and you'll know right away. Okay, is this a market I want to be in or not?
Yeah, exactly. And then you master more practice. You master yourself.
Precisely.
And the analysis yesterday, I was touching 3 different markets, and I was like, nah, this one no. I mean, it was something like I was like, I love this, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. See you guys.
See you. Bye bye.